Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Alexandra Palace. This is the William Hill World Darts Championship. Day 5 of the tournament, a truly international feel to today's action. 10 different countries represented, 11 if you count the giant Smurf that just wandered away over there. I'm Dan Dawson. This is former Players Champion Paul Nicholson. We will be talking you through what we've seen already and what we get to see tonight. Another fantastic evening of action underway. But we start by looking back at last night. We have to mention the big game of the night. Gary Anderson, two-time winner. A lot of question marks about Gary with his fitness this year, but he saw off Brendan Dolan and did so relatively comfortably. Paul, were you impressed? Because he didn't start well, but he got the job done.
I think getting the job done was a fantastic thing for him to do, but there were questions that needed to be answered by Gary Anderson. The way he came into this tournament, not doing a great deal of media, kept himself to himself, and I think he did a fabulous job. But what I've seen from Gary in the last few, maybe 2-3 weeks, I've never seen him so relaxed.
Well, look, Ryan Searle kicked things off this afternoon. You can see there, it was a tough one against Robbie King, the Australian. We're going to play it again, are we? There we go. Look, Ryan Searle taking out 66. He'd survived a match dart. Such a weird performance. Brilliant at times, rubbish at others. If he tidies it up, it'll be dangerous.
Yeah, very much so. I think he's got a few days off now to try and fix things. But I said to Ryan at the end of that match, that was the worst game I've ever seen that had 14 180s in it. But it was just the symptomatic of the game, isn't it?
Absolutely baffling stuff from Ryan Searle. He did have a run here. Oh, hello! Didn't know he could do that. You see, it's worked fine until you get involved, Nicholson. This is the problem. You could have dressed up for this as well. I mean, come on. Anyway, Cristo Reyes, Lawrence Ilagan. Lawrence Ilagan for the Philippines. 2 sets up. The best part of this game was after the first set, where he offered Cristo a handshake, saying, oh, I did really well there, and then Cristo was having none of it, but came back and won. That's a big win for Cristo. He's had a tough year.
Yeah, he's had a very tough season. You can see from this reaction here, you know, it's not often you gently nut the dartboard and say thank you for that. But the spirit that he showed to come back into that game from 2-0 down just goes to show how much heart he has.
Well, one of the Philippine lads didn't make it through, but the other one did. Noel Malikdem taking advantage of just a completely out of sorts Roby John Rodriguez, wasn't it?
Yeah, I get the feeling it was. He's got a young baby, and I don't think he's been getting much sleep over the last few months. But it's no excuse. If you're a professional dart player coming to the World Championships, you've got to find that time to rest and to practice. And Malikdem gradually improved set on set. It wasn't a great game, but ultimately it was about Malikdem doing more than Roby.
Okay, in the afternoon session, rounded off by the Polish eagle, Krzysztof Ratajski. Come on, Krzysztof, here we go. Come on, onto the screen, Krzysztof. Noel, you've had your moment, off you go. There we go, Krzysztof Ratajski. Now, again, a poor start from one of the seeded players, but he found something. Last 2 sets, averaged over 100. Are you impressed the way he turned it around, or are you more concerned about how he started?
I was concerned at the very start of the game because we talk about these guys in the first round getting the experience before the seeds come in. I thought that would play a part here, and it did at the start. But Ratajski not having a good record at Ali Pali, I think it played its part at the start. But the form that he showed in 2019, I think shone through. That last set was very good indeed.
Well, look, you may not have seen a great deal of the Polish Eagle doing big stuff on the telly in PDC darts. He's a former world master, of course, but he's been doing all sorts on the Euro Tour, on the Pro Tour. If he puts that together here at Ali Pali, we've got a genuine contender. I think he might make the semi-finals, but that will be the kiss of death. Let's have a look what we got tonight. 1, 2, 3, bang. There we go, lovely. Right, Richie Edhouse, debut here, Boris Koltsov. That's how we start. I'm going to ask you about these in a moment, but we do have another pundit who's going to give us something. It is the doyen of Dutch darts. That name's available now. Barney doesn't have it. It's Arjen van der Giesen from RTL7. Here's what he thinks.
The Madhouse against the Viking could be interesting. Richie Edhouse making his debut. Difficult, first time here on stage. Good player though. And Boris Koltsov, I believe it's his 4th appearance here on the stage in the World Championship. I fancy Richie to win. Let's make it 3-1. Interesting match. Jose was very impressive this year. Won 2 Players Championships finals, so And Damon Heta, first time here on the stage. I think I fancy Jose to win this one. And hopefully it goes all the way through 3-2. I'd love to see a win. With all respects to Ted, don't get me wrong, but Fallon Sherrock would really make history if she wins here tonight, and I'd love to see the history on the Ali Pally. So I fancy her to win 3-2. Big surprise for him that he beat Barney, and he's playing Jeffrey de Zwaan. Jeffrey de Zwaan, of course, very relieved, because if he had played Raymond, it would have been a completely different story. I think Jeffrey will be relaxed tonight on the stage. Quite easy, a win for him, 3-0 or 3-1.
Well, a patriotic final pick from Arjen van der Giessen, a man known as the Feather, because apparently the Dutch do irony. Let's have a look at what his predictions are. We're going to do that in a moment. Come on, come on. 1, 2, 3, bang. There we go. Right. Arjen's, and just a note, I've been predicting, as have our pundits. You were one of them. Look at that. Look at that, eh?
Not bad, eh?
Yeah, well,
You've got a future in this game, Dawson.
All I'm saying is, I'm better. Right, first game, Richie Edhouse on debut, Boris Koltsov. He's played here a few times. He's got talent, but this man's hit a couple of 9-darters this year. How do you see it?
Pretty much a coin flip, this one. I think the experience of Koltsov will play a part early. It depends how Richie Edhouse settles, I think, after the first set. I don't think Richie should get carried away with whether he wins or loses the first set. It's how he feels. And if he can put a streak together between sets 2 and potentially set 4, he can win this match. But I get the feeling that Boris might sneak it.
Okay, Damon Heta, the young Paul Nicholson, a man who has styled himself upon you, taking on José de Sousa, the Portuguese man of scores. Who wins it?
I've been mulling over this all day, and I still haven't come up with an answer. But I'm going to have to come up with one now. Damon, I spoke to him earlier, he looked really relaxed. Cap on, sports top on, not a care in the world, doing his little gesture. Yeah. I don't know what that's about yet. But de Sousa looks focused, looks ready. And if he plays better than he did 12 months ago against Michael Barnard, which is pretty odd, he can't not, can he? But de Sousa 3-2.
Okay, Fallon Sherrock looking to create history. She could be the first woman to win at the William Hill World Darts Championship. You've represented England alongside Fallon. Mind you, you've represented Australia alongside various other people, so maybe that means nothing. However, you do know how good she is. How much of a chance do you give her against Super Ted Everts?
This is a very interesting game for the future of this sport. So Ted Everts, monumentally talented. He is going to feel the pressure that James Richardson had the other day. But Fallon here, enjoying it, reveling in this experience. She's ready. Saw her about half an hour ago. She's got this look in her eye and this big smile. I give her a chance, but I think she needs a really good start. And she does get good starts in these games. That 99 average in qualifying is probably the one thing that she has to hang on to and say, you know what, if I play like that, I can trouble him.
Well, look, it's a fascinating clash, whatever happens. The final one, it could have been Barney. It's not Barney, it's Big Daddy. He ended the 5-time world champ's career. He's got another Dutchman in Jeffrey de Zwaan. Jeffrey's probably quite relieved he's not playing Barney, isn't he? Certainly Arjen thought so.
Yeah, pressure's off a bit for Jeffrey now. I think he could just get up there and focus on playing darts as opposed to playing his, previous person who's brought him to this point. But the guy from Mountaintop, I mean, that's a great place to live, isn't it? The Mountaintop. JDZ's going to be too strong here. If Darren plays the way he did against Barneveld, he gets beaten 3-0, and I totally agree with both of you.
Fair enough. Well, look, Damon Heta is on the way tonight. He won on the World Series over the summer. Very impressive win from Damon Heta. Can the man who's basically like an unevolved Pokemon of Paul Wilkinson. Paul Nicholson, that's your name. I work alongside you all the time. It's rubbish, that. Anyway, we spoke to him for the Dart Show after his win on the World Series.
Damon Heta from Perth, Australia, 32 years old. My parents played darts, and I watched them, and I think it was about 14, 15, I started having a bit of a throw, and yeah, before you know it, I'm playing in the normal weeknight comps, and then I met my mate Kyle Anderson, and yeah, just from there, played in state stuff and then national stuff, and yeah, just kept growing from there. See, I didn't know the expansion of darts, how big it is actually. I just thought national stuff was big and sort of just wanted to keep my goals going and make the Australian team and stuff like that, and then Obviously, I worried more about life after that, so getting set up, house and all that stuff. And then it wasn't only until about 18 months ago is where it's like, you know what, this could be a real big deal, and just sort of put my foot down from there, made it real. I've set myself the goals for that last 18 months of winning stuff I wanted to make, stuff I wanted to do, and I've just ticked all the boxes I've wanted, and bonuses. You know what I mean? Winning the Brisbane Masters, that's just a big confidence boost. And I just felt that I grew in the tournament because each game just got better and better, and I just come to the final against Rob. Oh man, that was just, I was so numb, so nervous at the same time, and I was just on a high. Being my birthday as well, like that's just some fairy tale stuff. So, but man, that was just I'll never forget that day. So I've just been working my guts out, so I've got that backing behind me. Just pretty much well set up. So I want to give myself pretty much 3 chances, so to say. The Q School, then if I didn't make that, I'll play the Challenge Tour, and then if I didn't make that, I'll do Q School again. And but I'm pretty confident that I'll do well.
Well, Damon Heta there, you only have to look at the names he beat in winning that World Series title. He's a man for the big occasion, but they don't come much bigger than the William Hill World Championship, Paul.
No, he's ready for this. He's done a lot right in 2019. If you look at the DPA, the Dart Players Australia circuit, over the course of the last 10 years, you've got people making incremental improvements, and the guys who come through that make genuine statements when they get over here. Cadby, Kyle Anderson, Simon Whitlock.
Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah. I remember when that used to happen.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, well look, let's have a look what's coming up tonight, because for my money, when the draw was made, Jose de Sousa versus Damon Heta may be the game of the first round. But that could be a belter. 2-9 darters this year. Boris Koltsov, very talented Russian player. Fallon Sherrick and Ted Everts. We could see history made here tonight at Ali Pali. And then Big Daddy, who's already created a bit of history, will take on Jeffrey Desvaux. We're going to leave you ahead of this incredible night of action here at the William Hill World Championship with a game that we've played on the wire quite a lot. I used to do it, but I'm not allowed anymore because I can't fit in the hot pants. So here's the Obergruppenführer of the William Hill Darts dancers, Sophie Lamberts, with Play Your Cards, Peter Wright.
As a special treat for this year's William Hill World Darts Championship, we've revived an on-the-wire classic. Play Your Cards, Peter Wright. In this deck of cards, we've got players ranging from number 1 to number 80 in the PDC rankings. We're going to pick out 5 cards from the deck at random, and if our contestants correctly guess higher or lower 5 times, then they will win one of these amazing Darts Christmas shirts from the official PDC merchandise stand. Let's go find us some contestants. Higher or lower than Peter Wright?
It's behind, isn't it?
It has to be.
It has to be higher, yeah.
Very confident.
If not, it's
Higher,
fixed.
Abby, let's see.
Oh.
Number 1, and you've already lost it. Are you really a doctor?
That's higher. 52 is higher than 7.
Next contestant on higher or lower, what's your name?
It's Rob.
Rob, and have you played higher or low before?
Not today.
Not today, no. Are you feeling confident?
Yes.
Right, higher or lower?
I'm getting excited now. Lower.
Lower, confident?
Yes.
He should be Raymond van Barneveld, 40. He's gone, but he's still in, he lives on in our hearts. He lives on in our hearts. 40, do we think higher or lower than Raymond?
This is controversial.
It is controversial.
I'm going to go higher.
Higher? You're saying higher. Abby, let's see if it's higher.
Oh!
So close! So this is what you could look like if you win higher or lower, but you haven't yet, so I'm going to take that from you. Right. Max Hop, 24. Higher or lower from 1 to 80 in the rankings. Higher up to Michael van Gerwen, lower down to 80.
Lower.
Lower. Let's see. Abby?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, it's too late. Ted Everts, lower. You won, so it's okay. Right. Ted Everts, 77 in the rankings. Do you think it's higher or lower than Ted Everts?
Higher.
Higher than Ted. Let's see, Abby. Higher, 27. Glenn Durrant, well done. Next, let's see.
Lower.
Lower than Glenn Durrant. Let's see.
Yes.
Ron Muhlenkamp, 51. Well done. One more, and this T-shirt is yours. Really important now. Higher or lower? Up to Michael van Gerwen.
Always got to go higher, haven't you?
Always higher.
To the top.
Confident? Yeah,
To the
final
top.
answer.
To the top.
Higher. Let's see, Abby. Has he won?
Come on!
Yes, he's won. He's won.